What's up guys, Speed here, and today we are going to be going over the top 10 scaling late game supports. This is going to be for both the Pause 4 and Pause 5 role. I wanted to include both of them in the same video, so we're going to have 10 heroes instead of the typical 5. I want to base this list also not strictly on what heroes are naturally good late game just because of their abilities and I guess talents, but also due to their natural farming capabilities, right? Like what heroes can actually get items, not like if everyone's 6 slotted, who's the best. So yeah, we're going to look at it through that lens. Now, before we hop into the main content of this video, I just want to let you guys know that you can check out guides just like this one, made by top tier pros, and have over thousands of different options over at gameleap.com. Now, let's get into the main video. So first off, I want to start with Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden as a 5 is naturally good as a late game support, primarily due to the fact that she has two great things, right? She has the ability to farm with Frostbite. She can farm any large camp. She can farm any wave with Crystal Nova, which is very important. Like, keep in mind, guys, the ability to shove and wave is something I'm going to repeat throughout this video, or at least mention a few times, because it really matters a lot for supports. If you've watched the last video where I watched a Jakiro replay and I guess tore apart a Herald Jakiro, you notice I stress a lot his ability to shove in waves and just basically get farm. And Crystal Maiden is a hero with Crystal Nova that can do that. Especially with Arcane Aura, you're going to allow your entire team to scale into the late game by just giving them more mana. Also, it's important to note that she has a 150 GPM talent, an amazing 20 talent, which is either the attack speed if you want to buy right-click items for whatever reason, or just 60 freezing field damage, and then the incredible 1.5 second Frostbite duration or 300 Crystal Nova damage. And the reason why I think the Frostbite duration is so great is if you buy the Ags in the late game with Crystal Maiden and you have Ags BKB, you're going to Frostbite people for a super long time with your ultimate, as well as deal a ton of damage due to your level 20 talent. Next up on the list is Io. Now, Io did recently receive the nerf where at level 20 he does no longer give Ags, but he still is one of the best late game supports in the game. This is undeniable for a few reasons. Spirits are still one of the best farming abilities in the game. They're fantastic. Not only that, Tether allows you to farm with the core. It's fairly straightforward. Same thing with Overcharge. Basically, you amp a core's farming capabilities, which gives you levels, which also gives you farm due to the fact that you have spirits. Not only that, you have Relocate, basically meaning similar to Spectre, you can be anywhere at any time, which causes you to have the ability to farm a wave far away from your team, allowing you to get more farm than your average support. Not only that, your talents are fantastic, right? 45 damage is a great ability to farm, and it synergizes fantastic with the later 25 talent, which is attack tethered allies targets. This talent is insane. If you haven't seen it with a hero like Gyro or a Morphling, anything with high attack speed, it's absolutely insane. Easily one of the best late game talents in the game. If you are able to pick up a Deso and a Satanic, I mean, the damage output you get from the 45 damage talent, plus some DPS items that you will get due to your farming capabilities, plus you will probably also get them due to the 150 GPM at 20 if you decide to take that, and you all package it together with your level 25 attack tethered allies target, you're in for a treat. At number 8, we have Earthshaker. Now, Earthshaker's capability to shove waves is solid, right? Once you have maxed out Aftershock and maxed out Fissure, you can nearly one-shot any wave, which is great, right? Right then and there, you have the ability to get farm. Now, you don't necessarily scale well that early. I mean, in the regards where your early game is not great, but talking about late game, Echo Slam is one of the better abilities in the game. I mean, it just does a ton of damage. Not only that, your talents are fantastic, at least the later ones, right? And because this is based on later talents, it makes a lot of sense. The 50 Echo damage at level 20 means that your ultimate does bonkers amount of damage, going all the way up to 160 Echo damage at level 18, or I mean I should say level 22 to the 50 echo damage. And not only that, I think what is the best part about late game Shaker is his ability to have a level 25 50% magic resistance talent if he needs it, but more importantly, the minus 2 seconds enchant totem cooldown, which synergizes super well with this amazing Ags that you have. The ability to kite in and out with your Ags, especially with this level 25 talent, is crazy good for the late game. And with the fact that Ags and refresher shards are given on Roshan in the late game, it's more of an incentive to look at this hero. It's one of the better late game heroes, right? You're going to have 2 Echo Slams. If you don't have enough farm for an Ags, you can get it off Roshan. Basically, all the changes recently to Dota have shifted towards making a hero like Shaker a better late game hero. Next up on the list is Shadow Demon. Now, this is one I think I could have potentially put much higher Shadow Demon is devastating in the late game, mainly for the reason that at level 10, I mean, besides the fact that all of his skills are good, like fantastic for late game, at level 10, you have 30% XP gain. Right then and there, you're going to scale late, period. You're going to get there faster than everyone else, meaning you're going to be able to get items faster, better talents faster. Your late game comes earlier, essentially, right? Your late game capabilities. Not only that, at level 15, you get 25% Shadow Poison damage, which synergizes fantastically with the minus 1.5 seconds Shadow Poison cooldown. Basically, these two talents together allow you to play late, right? Like, you do so much damage, it's absolutely insane. And finally, at level 25, you have either 2 charges of Disruption, which is amazing against late game Agi cores or even Strength cores. Just being able to make illusions of them is absolutely broken, and having 2 saves is also fantastic. But more importantly, if you have Ags, which gives you 3 charges of your Demonic Purge, you get plus 500 damage. Plus 500. First off, it does 400, meaning you have, 2700 damage? Because it goes all the way up to 900. 3 charges, if you cast them all on the same person, it does that much damage. Yes, it does that much damage, and you can't help but forget that Soul Catcher, your second ability, takes away 40% of an enemy's HP. 40%. So no matter how tanky they are, just 40%. It's pure, guys. It's pure. Just 40%. Boom, gone. That's in the late game. That's good. Very good. Next up on the list is a hero I actually hesitated putting on here, but I decided to put it on due to its literal late game scaling change in a recent patch. And that hero is Lion. With Finger of Death, you get 40 damage per kill for every time you use Finger of Death for a kill. This means that you scale late. It's sort of as simple as that, and when you buy an Ags, you have the potential to be one of the best, the scariest, potentially one-shot the enemy team, late game scaling supports. Not only that, your other talents are great for scaling. I mean, you can take 90 damage and shove in waves. You can even farm jungle camps with this 90 damage talent if you do decide to take it. It's quite good. I wouldn't underlook it. I mean, 100 cast range is undeniably fantastic for Lion as well, so it's kind of a hard take. But still, at level 15, you have 2 great options for the late game. You have 200 Finger of Death damage, which synergizes with the Ags you'll be buying later on if you do go down that route, or 150 GPM. Which is, great as well. 150 GPM is 150 GPM. At level 15, that's a super great talent. Once again, scaling to the late game, GPM just works. At level 20, you get a nice 500 health talent, meaning you're much tankier. But more importantly, at level 25, you have the incredible 325 AoE Hex. I think this talent is, just potentially insane. Having an AoE Hex, it's a 4-second Hex. A 4-second AoE disable in the late game is it's basically a black hole on a 12-second cooldown, except it just doesn't do the damage. And it's not channeled. It is that good. It really is that good. Next up on the list is a hero I don't think you guys probably expected, but that hero is Elder Titan. His talents let him scale. These talents are so good for scaling. So good. Now, his farming capability is meh. But still, you can use creeps to push in waves, right? You can also use your Echo Stomp to push in waves. If you really want to use Earth Splitter, you can. But basically what I'm saying is that your talents are great. 200 health or 20 movement speed, both fantastic. At level 15, you get the 30 Astral Spirit hero attack, meaning that you absolutely club people down. Basically, this gives you the ability to have 110 extra damage per hero that you hit, which essentially means if you hit 5 heroes and you have this talent, you get 550 damage. Yes, you heard that right. And not only that, at level 20, you get 70 attack speed, meaning that this 550 damage is constantly coming out. If you have a BKB in these 2 talents, whew. And finally, at level 25, you can either go for both of these talents. They're both really good. 75 Earth Splitter cooldown reduces it all the way down to 25 seconds, which is fantastic. But the 600 Echo Stomp wake damage means that you can hit people for up to 800 damage without waking them up for Echo Stomp. That is brutal. 800 damage. Whew. That's nasty. Also, don't forget that Natural Ardor, right? His passive is base armor reduction based. It's a percent, right? So it scales extremely well against these Agi cores because it's percent based. And finally, the fact that Earth Splitter is just max HP as damage allows it to scale. It's just how it works. Next up on this list is one of my favorite solo queue supports, a hero I think all of you guys should be playing as a support, specifically at position 4 if you haven't already. I think it's just really good. I could have put him number 1 on this list due to his carry potential, but it is Skyrath Mage. At level 10, you have 30% XP gain. That recent change makes you much better in the late game, once again, because similar to Shadow Demon, you're going to get there earlier, right? You get earlier. This gives you the farming capability you sort of need. The Skyrath doesn't have the best, right? It doesn't have the best farming capabilities. Somewhat recently, they allowed Concussive Shot to actually hit creeps. Not too recently, but sort of. and they've buffed concussive shot, so essentially you do have somewhat of an ability to push waves with this change, and this 30 XP gain really just amps that up. Not only that, your Arcane Bolt, especially with your level 15 talent, is pretty good for farming. I mean, you do have the ability to jungle at some point and push in waves fairly efficiently with your concussive shot plus your level 15 talent, and it's really nothing to laugh at. And finally, at level 25, you have a 300 GPM talent. Do I have to say anything else? Like, you're just gonna constantly get items. Pretty self-explanatory. Next up on the list is a hero I don't think at first glance is necessarily some great late game support, but in my opinion has a lot of the qualifications, or the main qualification for actually getting to that place. So if you play Grimstroke as a 4 or a 5, you will, the majority of your games, get items. You have some of the best lane shove in the entire game. You defend towers brutally well due to the fact that Stroke of Fate kills range creeps. Just once it hits level 3, it kills range creeps. Right? So just at that, you're going to get farm. Like, this ability is so good for farming. A 5-second cooldown, that 2 shots waves. It's so good for pushing waves, guys. It is so good. Not only that, at level 10, you get a 90 GPM talent. At level 10, on a hero that already gets levels quickly because he defends towers, and you can buy the tome now. It's also easier to get level 6, meaning you get to level 10 faster. Basically, you're going to get to level 10. You're going to be pushing in waves. And not only that, Soulbind is just a ability that allows you to scale, because when you buy a Hex, or you buy a Dagon, or you buy whatever item it is, it does not matter. Solar Crest, who cares? You're gonna have 2 of it, right? You have 2. Also, it's just a great late game ability. Being able to stack your teammates' hexes and your teammates' ability. Scales well late. That's it. You just scale well. But I think what's mostly important is the what I said earlier, right? You're going to get to your item timings even as a 5. If you play the lanes properly and you identify the open farm, you can take farm, and you can just straight up win team fights for your team. Inkswell scales extremely well into the late game. I mean, it's a 3.7 second stun at max. It gives you movement speed. Or Soulbind pierces spell immunity, meaning it's good against the late game BKBs, especially when they're short. This hero is just good late. Next up on the list is a hero I think a lot of you guys expected to be number 1, but it is not, which is Warlock. Warlock's talents, do I have to say anything else? I mean, his abilities are just good late, right? Fatal Bonds is just, I mean, it's Fatal Bonds. If you don't know what Fatal Bonds does, it just links everyone together. They all take each other's damage. That's just a good late game ability. Not only that, Upheaval is brutal against short BKBs. And, you know, Shadow Word doesn't scale well, but who cares about Shadow Word? You have Chaotic Offering. Wow. But what I want to go back to is your talents. At level 10, you can either take the cast range or the Fatal Bonds damage. Both are great for late game, right, because you're going to be able to stay out of the fight or just do more damage. At level 15, you have the crazy impressive 60 XP gain, meaning you will get to the late game, similar to Sky and Shadow Demon. I mean, sure, it's at level 15, but double that. You're going to get to your level 25 faster than a lot of other supports, even though you don't have some of the best lane shove in the game. You don't really have much lane shove at all unless you have Chaotic Offering or you're willing to use your Fatal Bonds on the wave, which isn't too bad. It's only an 18-second cooldown. You can use it to farm waves. It's pretty funny, but you can. And like, no joke, I played a Warlock game fairly recently in the qualifiers, and I mean, I used Rock and I just farmed like 6 camps. How do you not scale? But moving on, at level 20, you summon a Golem on death. I mean, that's crazy. You just get another Golem. And at level 25, you get Magic Immunity for Chaotic Offering Golems. I mean, when those things get Magic Immunity, they're just crazy. It feels like they can't be stopped. They take your buildings, they kill your heroes. And when you get Axe Refresher, which you typically get, like if the game goes really, really late, can you really deal with that? It's so hard to deal with it. Your team fighting capability at that point is absolutely insane. I mean, the double Rock you get, especially after the change where the Chaotic Offering Scepter now lands the second Golem 0.4 seconds after the first, meaning that it kind of like chain stuns, is so good against the late game short BKBs. So Warlock is number 2. And finally, number 1 on the list is a hero I've recommended in other videos as just a great support to play. I made an entire guide for him on YouTube, main guide. I watched over February play on him, and that's Shadow Shaman. If you don't play Shadow Shaman in solo queue, I know he's been getting nerfed over and over and over again, but still, the concept of the hero stays the same. He's good late game for the same reason he's good early game, for the same reason he's good mid game, for the same reason he's good in solo queue. Because he can farm and split push with either shock, and then when you get to the tower, you throw down your snakes. It's really that simple. But why is he good in the late game? I mean, as I said, it's kind of the same thing, but we'll go into it. So basically, late game, you will have Ags. And what's crazy about the Ags is it allows them to have split shot and gain bonus attack range, meaning if you have Refresher and Ags, no one can approach the wards or else they die. That's just how it is, unless they have a ton of armor, I guess. But the point is also, you're a great scaling support due to your talents. Level 10, the Notorious, 20% XP gain talent. At level 15, you have cast range, meaning you can stay out of those late game fights and control people from giga far away. You have either 1 Serpent Ward's max HP or 2.5 second Shackles duration at level 20. And the 2.5 second Shackles duration with a BKB Shaman, if you haven't tried BKB Shaman, I do recommend it. I mean, it's crazy. You literally hold someone still. Yes, you hold someone still for 7.5 seconds. What? I give you guys a challenge. Go tell a League friend that there's a hero in Dota that with one ability can hold someone for 7.5 seconds in Shackles, unless you have no League friends because you already killed them all off. I don't know, but test it out. And finally, at level 25, the 50 Wars attack damage. I mean, even the Ether Shock, like, I don't even want to let that go. Like, 400 Ether Shock damage means you can basically one-shot any wave, meaning, like, it's basically a GPM talent. Like, no joke, it's essentially a GPM talent. But looking at the Ward's attack damage, if you get Refresher Orb, a Refresher Shard, and you have Ags, or even just a Refresher Orb, or just the Refresher Shard, and you have Ags plus this level 25, plus if you took the 1 Serpent Ward's max HP, the game's over. You can just toss these on the throne and the game ends. Even Warlock, I don't think pushes as fast or is as scary as a Ags, Refresher Shard, Refresher Orb, Mass Serpent Wards. Let me know if you disagree. I'd be happy to hear down in the comments below. But try out Shadow Shaman, try out Warlock, go into the late game. Your pubs go late, okay? That's a fact. Pubs go late, so try out these heroes on the list if you think there's any heroes I missed, because I'm sure there are. Well, like, I didn't mention Rubik. You can hate on me. I bet there's already a comment down below. Speed, where's the Rubik? Alright, Rubik's not on the list. Yes, if there's Black Hole and you steal Rabbit, he's great. His talents are good. The 15 telekinesis is fantastic. But I want to hear what you guys think down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe to help the channel grow. And of course, I hope to see you in the next video. Hey guys, before I leave you, I just want to remind you that over at gameleap.com, you can check out guides just like this one, made by top tier pros. It will help you gain MMR faster, it will help you learn the game much more in depth, and overall, just increase the experience of your Dota gameplay as you will crush your opponents simply by knowing more than them.